Welcome back to another edition of the Pitch Putt Puff podcast. Before we get into our guest this evening, I just want to take a quick second and give a shout out to my man over at Skuld Golf. Hit him up on Instagram the other day, had some cool merch. He sent me out a nice little care package. Packaging is really dope. It's got his logo on there. Really appreciates the support as well. But he hooked me up with the current hat I'm wearing. Skuld Golf, established 2023. We got just the regular Skull Gang with the T's in the mouth there. That's pretty dope for the course. What else we got here? We got a couple other things my man hooked me up with. We got the rope. That one's pretty dope as well. Shout out here. This one's probably my favorite. This is probably going to be more on the boat for me, to be honest with you, when I'm fishing, because I'm terrible at fishing. But the fucket hat, the bucket fucket, pretty dope hat. Shout out to him for that one. And then also hooked me up with a dope t-shirt. So definitely shout out for the support, my man. Support in any way. He will be coming on the podcast soon in a couple weeks here. We'll get him on. We'll talk about his brand, his business, and what he's got going on. So I really appreciate him hooking us up with some merch and hope to talk to him soon. But yeah, before we get into this guest here, just going to take a quick break and then we'll get right back into it. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Welcome back to another edition of the Pitch Putt Puff podcast. My name is Roger, aka RGB. Before we get rolling with the guest here, I just want to give a quick shout out to 420 Bliss, located at 740 Hoosick Road in Shore, New York, located right in the Walmart Plaza. Stop in there, check them out. Edibles, tinctures, flour, pre-rolls, vapes, you name it, they got it. When you go in there, make sure you let them know the Pitch Putt and Puff crew sent you. Tonight for the smoke of the night, I'll be getting into a heavy hitters pen here, testing this out. Shout out to 420 Bliss for that one. But tonight we're going to go back out to the West Coast. We got my man Nelson on from Tacos at the Turn. What's up, buddy? Appreciate you jumping on.
Hey, what's up, Roger? Hope you're doing good. First of all, I just want to say thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it.
No problem, man. It's a good opportunity for me to get to meet you a little bit. I've been following your page for a little while. Always got something going on, man. You're always doing something. So curious to see what's been happening, how you got into it, and what's next. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into golf?
Yeah, well, my name's Nelson. I'm the founder of Tacos at the Turn. I got into golf. I know the exact year now. Before, when people used to ask me, when you start golfing, I'd be like, oh, I think like 10 years ago, 12 years ago. I'm not really sure. But I remember that I bought an R9 driver. So it was 2009.
Okay.
That's the year that I started golfing. So that was quite a while ago. But what happened is I played for a few years and then I took a long break. I would say I took about 5 or 6 years off just because I was getting really frustrated when I was playing. I'm not a very good golfer. So when I'd be out there, I'd be hitting bad shot after bad shot. And I was starting to get frustrated and it was starting to get to me to the point where I was like, I was angry out there. I wasn't having fun. Right. So I said, screw this. Like, if this is not fun, why am I doing it? And I quit playing for about 5 to 6 years.
Okay.
Then, of course, like everybody else, when the pandemic hit and there was nothing to do, I came back to golf and I told myself, just go out there. I'm not a freaking professional, so I know I'm not going to play that well, but just go out there and have fun, right? Mm-hmm. And I came back with a different attitude, and it's been great since then.
Awesome. I'm kind of similar. Like I'm 40. I played in high school a little bit, but the two guys I played with both got college scholarships to go play golf. So I batted lefty my whole life, so I didn't have any golf clubs. I was using righty clubs.
That's crazy.
But a second or third hole, I couldn't figure it out. And I actually converted over. I still now have lefty clubs. I converted over to a righty. So it took me, I started playing 2016. And same thing, the first 3 years was just trying to figure out how to hit the ball right-handed and with some power. Wow. And then COVID hit, and there's like you said, there was nothing else to do. The only thing open was the golf course.
Yeah.
Me and my buddy were out there walking every day. I said same thing. I was like, if I'm going to play this all the time, I got to figure out how to get somewhat good at this to enjoy it. And
exactly.
I slowly went from like a 115 to 120 to 110 to 100. And then it went, the next year it went down between 100 to 90. And then the past 2 years I've been floating around the 80s most of the time, peaking in the 90s here and there. But it's just the game's a process. There's never a day where you're going to have everything together. And if you do, God bless you.
Yeah. When I was playing back in the day, when I was getting frustrated with myself, I could never break 100.
Hmm.
And, I'd be like you said, like 110s, close to 120. Okay. And a couple times came close to breaking 100. One time I actually, we went out, we played my friends. I told, I broke 100. I got 99. And I got home and I recounted, it was 100. But I
Oh
didn't
man,
have the heart to tell them, hey, I
yeah.
didn't do it.
Oh man, but it was
But yeah,
that's a milestone. Like breaking that 100, like that first time you do that, as crazy as it
yeah,
sounds, it's like, oh hell yeah, finally, you
yeah.
know.
But that first time around, I could never do it. I just
Hmm.
couldn't. And then, I took that long break. And then when I came back, I was like 10 shots better. I was always breaking 100. I was in the 90s.
Yep.
But now I'm still stuck in the 90s. I've hit 90 exactly a few times, but I just can't break 90. So that's what I'm working on.
Yeah, I broke 80. Was it 3 times? I got 278s and 179.
Oh, nice.
And I didn't do it this past year. It was the year before. One of them was the last round of the year. So it was a nice way to end the year and go home and sit on my couch with
Oh,
a
man.
100, knowing I had that 78. I think I opened up the following season with like a 94 or something. So right back where I left off, really.
Yeah. But that's tough taking all that time off, like all those months off.
Oh, yeah. And we just had some, like, we had only a handful of places with simulators up here. But this past year, 2 years, there's like 7 or 8 places opened up now with the simulator option. So it's starting to really, I mean, since COVID, golf is just blowing up. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
And the
another thing.
sims are popping up all over the place everywhere. Yeah.
Everywhere. Then people are getting the trackers in their house and
Yeah.
everything else. You guys got a big problem out there in California. I was just reading something about the tee times. Is that true? The people are
That
like, go ahead. They're like
that is
buying them
very
in bulk. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So first of all, it's been so hard here in LA to get a tee time. And at first, we thought there's just so many people here. And, with the pandemic and so many people coming into golf, it was just, too many people for the amount of golf courses that we have here, right? So that
Hmm.
was the thought. But then we started thinking maybe it was bots, that people were using bots to snatch up all the tee times.
Yeah.
But then Dave Fink, golf influencer Dave Fink, he kind of like broke the story where these people were going in and snatching all the tee times on the golf website, the LA City Golf website, snatching them all up, and then they were reselling them at a premium, right? So
Wow.
not only do you have to pay for the green fee, but you have to pay the brokers an extra $40 on top of that.
Oh my
So it's
God.
it's a very unfair process. I'm glad that he discovered it and he brought it to the attention of the people, really, and to LA City Golf.
Right.
But they don't seem to be doing anything about it or not doing anything fast enough. But they have to do something now. Now that everybody's aware and
Right.
out there, they have to do something about it now.
I mean, that's craziness because like up here, there's courses where you can you can pull up your, just drive up and walk out to the tee box. I mean, it's that easy really to get a tee time for the most part. I mean, sometimes you'll run into an issue if there's like leagues or something going on, which is
Mhm.
expected. But when I heard that, I was like, what? And then with the whole broker thing, buying them up,
Yeah,
like just the shit people come up with
it's
to
crazy.
scam people and make a buck. I mean, it's hard enough in this world as it is right now to go charge an extra $40 on top of an $80, greens fee. It's like, come on, man, what are we
Yeah.
doing here?
And then people will do it because they want to play,
Yeah, yeah,
So, yeah.
that's crazy. So how'd you get into the tacos at the turn? How did all this start for you?
So, I told you that I took a long break and then I
Hmm.
came back to golf and I got into like Instagram golf and, started following, all the golf influencers and the golf brands. So it was very different from the time that I stopped playing to when I came back in those 5 or 6 years. Golf had like changed drastically.
Yeah,
Like it was like a new game. It had evolved into something that was like way more cool, like way more interesting, way more diverse, and just fun, right?
hmm,
It was just a different game, and I really wanted to be part of that evolution. And I saw these brands out there. I would say brands like Malbin, Eastside Golf, and
yep,
then all the other smaller brands that you would see, right? And
yep,
I just wanted to be a part of that, and I wanted to have my own brand. And as I was like brainstorming, what should it be, right? I said, well, I want to combine two things that you wouldn't really think of going together, and it was
hmm,
golf and tacos, right?
yeah,
Those
yeah,
two of my passions. So I put those two things together, and I thought, oh, what an interesting combination. Um, and then I started brainstorming for a name, and I was writing on my pad. And the very first thing, of course, was golf and tacos. I'm like, oh, perfect.
yeah,
That's it
yeah.
right there.
That's
But
it.
then I looked it up and somebody had taken that name already. It was already trademarked. So I
Okay.
couldn't use that. So I just kept thinking. And all of a sudden it came to me, tacos at the turn. It was like the perfect like alliteration and the
Yep.
perfect meaning, and I just went with that and just ran with it.
That's dope. I mean, I understand because like trying to figure out the name for the podcast, I totally get where you're coming from. I sat there and I was like, all right, what are we going to do here? We're going to call it. Because at first I just kind of didn't even have a plan. I just started recording into my phone. What we do is there's 8 guys every Sunday morning. We do a loop and we play our 18. At the end, we pull a card. Whoever has the matching card, that's your teammate. Lowest score wins.
Oh, that's dope.
So I just started talking. We played with the same 8 guys. So I just started talking about them, breaking down their game, busting chops, roasting them a little bit and stuff like that. And I recorded it. And we went and played the Sunday. And I just put it on my Bluetooth. And everybody's like, yo, what is this, dude? And they're laughing and everything else. I'm like, I just recorded a podcast about us. She's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, just to see what you guys think. They're like, all right, yeah, let's do another one. And my one buddy hopped on for like a co-host spot and broke down the chorus. And then it just slowly snowballed. I'm like, all right, what are we going to call this? And we're out there smoking every Sunday, and it's the same crew. Everybody's involved. So I was like, all right. I heard, the little putt puff or whatever. I was like, all right, the pitch putt puff. We'll change it up a little bit, mix it up, make it the tongue twister. Try to make it catchy. Try to have a little bit of a logo that people are gonna maybe double back to and be like, what the hell is that? A golf ball smoking a joint? Something like that.
Yeah.
Just trying to stand out that's what you got to do, though. It's the same thing what you're doing. Tacos the Turn, same thing. It stands out. It's something that
you have to differentiate yourself some way. Yeah,
absolutely. And the biggest problem at our golf course currently is there's no food at the turn, so we could use some tacos.
None at all?
No, there's a little
not
shed.
Even a glizzy, huh?
Not even a glizzy on the turn, man. There's like the restaurant there owns it, but they don't have enough staffing to put anybody out there most of the time.
No.
So
that's an opportunity for somebody.
Exactly. We just actually on my other podcast we had a city council member on, and he's looking into he's a big golfer. He's there all the time, so he's looking to do something with that. Hopefully it turns into something. Even if you throw a high school kid over there or a food truck or whatever.
Yeah, something. Yeah,
something. Throw a couple of glizzies, a burger on there, bag of chips, even something. Just long day out there sometimes.
Beef jerky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
something. I just seen you had a fresh new release come out for a big event coming up.
Well, my release right now is this hat right here.
The Masters hat, yep.
The Masters hat.
Fire.
Of course, everybody does a Masters hat, right? Around this time.
Yeah.
So this, again, I wanted to make it a little bit different, and I did the corduroy.
Okay.
But let me tell you about this hat, because this is kind of like my main thing for the Tacos at the Turn merch. It's called the Maximo Golf Utility Hat.
Okay.
Because it has a little slot here for the tee. I don't know if you can see it well. It's
a little bit.
And then over here, the little taco right here.
Yeah.
It's a magnetic ball marker holder. So you just put it there. Yeah. So that way, a lot of times you throw it in your pocket and then you're fumbling around and you lose it.
Yep.
So if you have it right on your hat, it's stuck on there. You're not going to lose it.
That's a great idea, man. That's actually really creative. That's something that's going to differentiate you from the competition. Little things like that make a difference to people. It's just a convenience out there. I hate digging in my pocket. I got 7 tees, my glove, 14 ball markers. Don't even know what the hell's going on. So, what do you got? Do you guys do like tournaments or like any big events you got coming up? Anything like that?
Yeah. Well, first, let me tell you, when I first came up with the brand, it was just Tacos at the Turn was just the name and kind of like symbolic of the evolution of golf, right?
Mm-hmm.
Golf is evolving. Golf is different now, and it's changing. So, like I was saying, okay, the taco is going to take over the turn, right? It's going to be the new food of choice, taking over the place of the hot dog. So it was just sort of symbolic, but it was just supposed to be merch, like casual golf clothing, like hoodies and T-shirts and these hats. But then every time I would be out there, either playing or trying to sell the merch, everybody would ask me, so do you sell tacos? Do you sell tacos? Do you sell tacos? And I have to keep telling the story. No, it's just kind of like the brand name, and this is what it stands for. And I do the merch. But people kept asking me like that every time I was out. So I saw that there was an opportunity there to actually sell tacos at the Turn. So it kind of turned into that as well. So I do, catering for golf events. I've started to get more into that along with the merch. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, were you always, you said you had a passion for like cooking and stuff like that, right? Were you our kitchen and
Yeah,
stuff?
I do like to cook. I mean, I mostly like to eat,
Yeah.
but I do enjoy cooking as well.
That's awesome.
Um, yeah,
That's a great, like you said though. You just incorporated two things you love that you enjoy doing. Boom, boom. Incorporate it. Now you got something that you look forward to doing. It doesn't even feel like a job or anything like that. So now, do you create all the merch and stuff yourself?
well, I'm not a designer, like I'm not a graphic designer.
Yeah,
So I come up with the idea and I try to explain it to somebody,
yeah,
but I have to have some people design it for me because
yeah,
I don't have those skills.
yeah. The creativity's up here. Just can't put it. I'm the same way, dude. I was trying to
Yeah.
I'm trying to redo my logo a little bit, put some color into it, just touch it up.
Mhm.
Um, and the girl who's doing it for me was like asking me. I'm like, listen, I've seen all your work. I just need you to put your touch on this, and you just do what you think like it would make it look good. She's like, all right, and she sent me a couple mock-ups, and I mean, it looks exactly what I had in my head, but I didn't really have to tell her because I knew what she was going to do with it, kind of thing. So I'm
Yeah,
excited.
yeah.
I'm excited to drop that. I'm hoping to get that by 420 and do a little release on that for that
Oh, cool.
big event there. Yeah, it's been like I said before, it's been a long winter, man. We're just itching to get out. Now, do you play within any
Yeah.
of the Legends tournaments at all? You mess up with the link up with the Legends?
No, so I barely started talking to Michael, so I haven't hooked up with them yet. I would like
Okay.
to get out there with them one of these days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they're a little bit. They're not exactly in my area, so it'd be kind of a drive to get out to where they play.
Gotcha.
But I'll get out there one of these days.
Yeah, those guys. They got a cooler thing going on. I just see him keep adding members to all the scrambles and stuff
Mhm.
like that. I wish I had the opportunity to get that many people actually involved in something. Just the community I'm in, there's not as many. The population's a quarter of probably what you guys are dealing with. So not as many golfers, and there's so many other courses that people go play at and everything
Yeah, I
else.
I am actually part of a golf club. It's called Gammas and Compas. So it started out with the fraternity brothers,
All
and
right.
then they started bringing in some of their friends. So that's where the compas, the Spanish word
Mm-hmm.
for basically a friend or kind of like a family member friend.
Like a
Um,
compadre, right?
yeah, exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's Gammas and Compas, and I'm in that golf club. So they have an event like pretty much every month. So I try to make it to as many of those as I can.
Nice. Now, how many times a week do you get out?
Once a week,
Okay.
basically. But the thing is, with not being able to get a tee time, it's hard to get a tee time for 18 holes.
Right.
So what I usually do, I do the early morning back nine.
Nice. Get
So
out
that's
bright
what
and
I do
early.
week,
Yeah.
yeah. And then every once in a while, I have to play 18 just to see where my skills are at,
Mm-hmm.
right? Get a true score. So every once in a while, I'll play 18.
Nice. Yeah, I'm fortunate. Well, it sucks, but I have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go to work. But I go in at 4 a.m. and I get out at noon. So I have a 6-year-old. She gets off the school bus at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So that gives me that little gap to go play 9 or 18 on some
Mhm.
days if no one's really out there. So I
Okay.
take advantage of it. I play 18 at least 3 times a week, and then
Oh, nice.
the other day, the only day I really take off is Saturday. That's family day. I cut all the golf off, all the podcast stuff off, and just hang
Yeah.
out with the family. Um, and then I try to get out there, but I think that's a big part of me going from 100 to an 80 in a year and a half, 2 years. It's just such a drastic improvement by striking the ball better, everything else. But
Mhm.
when you're playing 6 days a week, if you don't get better, it's probably time to put the clubs away. You know.
Right. Well, what
Yeah.
I'd really like, I would like to get lessons. Excuse me. I've only taken like a handful of lessons. I would like to get like consistent lessons, like once a week, and then maybe practice once a week, and then play once a week. That would be the perfect schedule for me. But then I don't think I would be married anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Juggling all this around, like even with this, like I had the conversation with my wife. I was like, "Listen, I'm gonna start taking this podcast thing a little bit more serious."
Mhm.
She's like, "Oh, what's that mean?" I'm like, "It's gonna be," and like that's part of the reason I try. Like it's 8 o'clock, 8:30 at night here, so like my kid's in bed, she's sleeping, my wife's out with a girls' night, so I'm like, I try to
Mhm.
work it around when it's gonna work out for the kids taken care of. She's occupied. Let me drop a podcast real quick. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just you got to navigate it, but at the same time,
exactly.
I'm trying to grow it. So there's times where like Friday night, I was up till 11 o'clock doing an interview because I was with someone on the West Coast. But
Mhm.
it's for me, it's worth it just to build a relationship and network and get help someone get their brand out. And because like out here, no one's probably really not too many. If not too many people probably know what Tacos at the Turn is. I only know it from following, all the guys out in the West Coast. I seen you with Omar on the Custom Rag is where I think I first originally seen you, and then I just started following from there. Omar's the best, man. He hooked me up with a nice one here.
Yeah, he's getting those towels out, man.
It's unbelievable.
He's getting out there for sure.
He's I just put a nice order of 15 in, and then my home course, the course I played at, I went up there. I had a meeting for one of my leagues, and I brought it with me just to show the guy. I was like, you should probably put your logo on these and put them in the clubhouse. He's like, yeah, order me 25. Like, just seeing it, felt it, touched it, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to need 25 of those. So we're bringing us some business here from the East Coast, trying to help out any way we can. And I'll do the same for you, man, for sure.
Yeah, we have the same last name, Castro. So when we found that out, we keep calling each other primos now, cousins.
Yeah. That's funny. That's great. Let me ask you a couple golf questions to wrap this up.
Sure.
Is there anything else I missed that you want to promote or anything like that going on? I know you got the hat. Any other new merch drops coming up or events you got coming up?
No events planned as of now. So I am available if people want to, get Tacos at the Turn out there, either for catering or merch. I am available. I do have a new hat in the works that I'm very excited about, and I'll break the news here. Since I'm almost done with it. It's a LA Dodgers themed hat. So the LA logo, right? Iconic logo. But it's made out of golf tees.
Oh, nice.
So it'll be on my regular hat that I usually make with all the same features, but it's gonna have the LA logo made out of golf tees.
Oh, that's fresh.
Yeah,
that's a really good idea. See, man, it's creative. You just gotta keep coming up with creative shit. That's a great idea. That's gonna look great, especially out there. Where are you? Right in LA?
Well, I'm in LA County.
Okay.
I'm in an area called the San Fernando Valley.
Gotcha.
So it's like a suburb of LA, just a little bit actual north of the city of Los Angeles, but I'm in LA County, so we consider it LA.
And you travel that's why I was asking for in case people are listening and trying to host a tournament or something. You travel a good radius?
Yeah. Because sometimes we'll have to drive like an hour and a half to different courses. So yeah, I'm willing to do that. Yeah.
All right, cool. Just want to make sure I got that out there for you. So I know you're somewhat, you've been playing for a little while, but still somewhat new to the game. What's your favorite course you've ever played?
You know what? Unfortunately, I haven't played that many great courses. Yeah. So I would have to say there's a course here near me called Rustic Canyon. It's in Moore Park, California, not too far from me, and it's kind of like a link style course.
All right.
And it's just like when you get there, you kind of seem like you're in a different setting, like you're somewhere else, like you're not in like the LA area. Mm-hmm. So it's a really nice course, a great value, and I say out of the courses that I've played regularly, that's probably one of the best ones.
Nice, because that's kind of like same thing with me up here. Like of a good course, like there's view wise, there's a course up. We have like a big racetrack up in Saratoga. They actually do like the Belmont and the Travers is up here. So there's Saratoga National. It's a PGA style course, the conditions, all that, really nice course. But up there as well, there's Top of the World, and it's up in like Lake George area, and you got some beautiful views from all over the place. Because you're up top, you can see everywhere, all the mountains and everything else. So that's just the view wise. That's a nice course, quality wise. I would say that Saratoga National is probably one of the best I've played. I played one course down in Texas at a wedding. Silver Rock something or Slick Rock. Slick Rock is the name of it. It was just outside of Austin. This place was, I don't know if it was just because the weather made it look so much nicer and I wasn't freezing in the middle of January. But that course was really nice as well. But yeah, same thing. I haven't really got out to like one of those Pebble Beach or something, luxurious like that.
Yeah, like we were talking earlier, it's kind of hard to justify that to the wife paying like $300-400 around. So
yeah, that's what the Saratoga National. If you go during like peak season, especially track season, it's like $250 to get out there.
Yeah.
So and that ain't cheap for 5 hours of your day. It's tough to explain to the wife with a kid and family and everything else. What's your favorite club in your bag?
The pitching wedge.
Okay.
It just seems like every time I hit that, it's just I can hit it so well. Like it's always going to be a good shot.
Hmm.
It's like I can always trust the pitching wedge.
That's how I am. Same thing with my 7-iron. I can. It's my most versatile club in my bag, and I know if I hit it the way I want to hit it, it's going to go where I expect it to go. So that's my favorite. It's a 7-iron. And then your golf season's a little bit different than mine. We're not even out there yet. But what's one thing you want to improve on this year on the golf course?
My driver.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, my driver's, I don't even break the driver out. I've been hitting 3-wood off the tee.
Okay.
So I'm losing a lot of distance there. So I'd like to get my driver back, but I really need to put the work in.
Yep. And that's the thing too. Me and my buddy were just talking about this the other night. It's one of those things like when you are struggling, the only way to really fix it is just grab a bucket of balls, go to the range, and just sit there, take your time, film yourself a couple times to see what it looks like,
Mm-hmm.
Something's off. Could be as stupid as your hands were opened up too much in your grip, or you're turning your shoulder out this way. It's the stupid little things that make such a difference in this game, which makes it fun and frustrating at the same time.
And it's hard to figure out by yourself sometimes, but what helps is filming yourself. Like I don't usually film myself, but the times that I do, you can see it right there what you're doing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps a lot. Yeah.
And I hate filming my swing. I think from going lefty to righty, it's so ugly. Like my grip, I still have the baseball grip. My right hand is like open. I can see like my palm. I'm like, I got to roll this hand over. But if I start doing that, then I'm snap hooking everything. So it's like a whole process of really, really trying to figure it out. But I really need to improve just my chipping, my short game. Trying to keep it. I try to get too fancy, so I'm trying to spin it and flop it, and I'm not that good, so I shouldn't be doing that. Get it close to the pin, make it enough to where I can get it within a hula hoop is what I usually say. Hula hoop it up there and knock that thing in for hopefully a bogey. Bogey golf is what I like to play. Worst case.
That's not bad. I'd be happy with bogey golf. Yeah. Chipping was a big problem for me for a while, to the point where I even bought a chipper.
Oh yeah.
I bought a chipper and I thought that was going to be, the magic fix, and it didn't help at all. It helped maybe like the first time I used it, I'm like, oh, this thing is really good. And then after that, I was like, I was chunking it. It just it didn't work out like I wanted it to. So I went back. I just started practicing in my backyard. And yeah, my chipping has improved a lot.
That's the one thing you can practice like at home is just chipping around the yard.
Yeah.
I use my 60 degrees, one of my better clubs. I'm really good with like the flop shot for whatever reason, but I think it's because I sat here a couple of years ago and I just hit flop shots over my driveway, back and forth. Like my driveway was the water, and I probably hours just to get used to doing it because I seen Phil doing it. And I'm like, oh, that looks so cool. I won't have to, because if I was chipping with my 56, I was bumping and running, and then it was going 15 feet further than I wanted it to. But if I hit my 60, it was going straight up in the air and sitting down. So I'm like, if I can get this to do that every time, let's just do that. And I don't have to worry about chasing after it and 3-putting. Because that'll kill you too. A 3-putt will kill you no matter what hole it is.
Tell me about it. That's another one of my problems. Yeah. Another thing I've been working on too. Got one of those, putt out mats.
Yep.
So that's been helping a little bit, but still, it seems like when I'm on the mat, it seems like I'm making every putt, and then I get on the course and it's not the same.
It's not. Yeah, it's not supposed to roll that way.
Animal.
Yeah, it sure is.
It's a different animal being out there, actually.
It sure is. So, my plan is, I'd love to link up with you. I'm planning on coming out there in the fall.
Okay.
I'm hoping like I can coordinate it with like a weekend where Legends is doing an event and try to get like everybody I've networked with and try to get everybody there. And I'm like going to try to like semi-sponsor the tournament kind of thing or whatever's going on. So I will. I'll talk to you before then, but love to set that up, get you out there. Trying to make it something really cool. I never been out to California. I've been out to Hawaii, but never made it out to Cali. So I'd love to get out to the West Coast and see what it's all about.
Oh, that'll be dope, man. Yeah, we'll do some golf and tacos.
Oh yeah, I'm down, man, for sure. Nelson, bro, I really appreciate your time. Where can everybody find you?
Well, website is www.tacosattheturn.com. On Instagram, it's tacos_@_the_turn. If you just search tacos at the turn, it'll
pop right up. Yep, I'm the same. I got all the underscores in there and all that stuff. Yeah. Pain in the ass. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, I really appreciate your time. Make sure everybody you go check them out at Tacos at the Turn, and we'll talking to you guys soon. Later.
Thanks.
That was dope. Really appreciate Nelson for hopping on from Tacos at the Turn. Before I wrap this up, though, I just want to take a quick second and give a thank you to all my recent guests, all followers, fans, whatever you guys want to call it. This has been a really fun ride. I've had some really cool guests on, made some great connections, got to meet some really cool people. It's been fun, and there's a lot more to come. So stay tuned into the Pitch Putt and Puff. Going to be back in studio hopefully next week. JR will be back. He's got some stories from Colorado. Got some more West Coast guests coming on for you. It's going to be exciting. Golf content will be out soon. We're literally days away from getting on the golf course. It's been such a long winter here for us in upstate New York. It's really time to get out there and start hitting some golf balls around. Get the sun out. We've been dark and gloomy for way too long, but it's gonna be here sooner than later. But yeah, it's just want to give a quick shout out to DeRoe as well for the ice cream paint job. Appreciate him jumping on. We got this here, the ice cream paint job. Really fire, got a nice citrusy taste to it. Who else we'd have on recently? We had Tyler from Four Left. We've had him on. Obviously Nelson from Tacos at the Turn. Marty from Trouble Off the Tee. I mean, we've had some guests on. I'm trying to mix it up for you guys as best I can to try to give you different people, not just in the cannabis world, not just in the golf world, clothing, equipment. Nick from Makefield Putters, great interview. Really interested in how that's going to be. Got some things coming up with him. There's going to be a little roundtable coming up. We're going to have some returning guests coming back, which will be fun. Got some things in the works with that. So I'm just making moves. They call me the chef because I just keep on cooking. And I hope everybody continues to tune in to the Pitch Putt and Puff podcast. Check out the Instagram page. Check out the YouTube page. Like, share, follow. Whatever you can do to help me out is greatly appreciated. Once again, shout out to my man at Scold Golf. These hats are dope. A couple more here, like the Punisher one. That one's pretty fire. I'll be rocking that on the course for sure. Give him another shout out here because he hooked me up. Boom. Yep. Into the fucking bucket. Shee. Also, quick shout out to my man Marty, Trouble Off the Tee. Check that book out on Spotify. That's a real good listen. That's the book was the type of read that or listen that when you got out of the car and had to go into the store or something, you were looking for your headphones to make sure you could finish the chapter. But one heads up, you cannot listen to this book around children. This thing gets into it. That's all I'm going to tell you. It gets into it. Marty will be back on in a couple weeks with Nick. We're going to do a roundtable with the Upstate Golf guys to talk about the Masters. So April 8th, I believe we'll record that. Probably drop that April 9th, April 10th area. So be look out for that. That's going to be a good conversation. Those guys know each other well. But yeah, appreciate everybody tuning in to the Pitch Putt and Puff. Appreciate everybody's support and continued support. Like I said, please like, share, follow. And thanks for tuning in. Check out 420 Bliss, 740 Hoosick Road, Troy, New York, right in the Walmart Plaza. You don't feel like leaving. Make sure you check them out online, www.420bliss.com. They have a delivery service and pretty much everything you're looking for in the cannabis industry, they got for you. So make sure you check them out. Tell them that the Pitch Putt Puff crew sent you. Shout out to Ty and the crew. Peace.